Stan Gibilisco coming at you from the Nerd Cave. The date is April 29th, 2014. The time is about 5 o'clock p.m. and I'm burning a wood fire just more or less now for coziness reasons. We've had close to 3 feet of snow here over the past 48 hours. A lot of it is settled, so it looks like a little less on the ground, but there are places where you can tell. This is the panoramic tour of my nerd cave where the wood stove obviously is located. It gets awful hot in here when I burn that wood. There's all that nerd cave electronics which you've seen. There's some of the last gasp of this winter storm, which I call winter storm whatever. That's a Doppler radar image courtesy of the National Weather Service. Doppler radar. Little reflection of the wood fire, an amplifier, Morse code keyer, speakers, all kinds of ham radio gear, but I'm burning wood with a little bit less guilt now after a comment that was made on my vlog. Visit it, the Nerd Cave Vlog. Just type Nerd Cave Vlog into Google as a phrase, and it'll take you right there. I may also attempt to provide a link to it in the description of this video, but it's pretty long and arcane website. They haven't granted me status of a good, clear name yet. But there's the wood. A comment that was made about with respect to a video about wood burning, asking the question, does this contribute to long-term carbon increase in the Earth's atmosphere? And this guy concurred more or less with the guy, the professor in China, who said no. There's a garage full of pine wood. I guess they call this bug wood because it was cut down, it was infected with pine beetles. Of course, I haven't seen any beetles in the house. So I'm not particularly squeamish about that. But this guy said, well, go to the vlog and visit it for yourself. He justified burning wood by saying that, for one thing, every BTU, every British thermal unit that I get out of wood is a BTU that I wouldn't have got, that I might otherwise have gotten from fossil fuels, and which would have brought carbon up out of the ground. In any case, it's an awful expensive way to heat a house. An awful labor-intensive way if you like to chop your own wood. Of course, time is money. There's another panoramic view of the Nerd Cave. Now, the wood stove arrangement here is pretty cool because it's very hot in the basement. But right there up above the wood stove in this small, very hot basement, which I can drive the temperature up here into over 100 degrees Fahrenheit up here. That's the intake for the furnace blower. And even when it's below zero, if I run this wood stove full blast, pulls air in that intake, the furnace blower circulates it throughout the house and the furnace shuts down. So indeed I am burning wood and releasing carbon that way, but I'm not burning natural gas and releasing carbon that way. That said, you get a lot more efficiency out of that furnace than you do out of this wood stove. So for every BTU that I get out of this wood, I'm probably releasing an awful lot more carbon into the air. But you know, if there's a way to rationalize doing this, you know, I guess the truth is what it is, and I don't claim to necessarily know all the details. But I'll tell you one thing, and one thing that kind of irks me a little bit. It seems that sometimes some of these government agencies aren't so much interested really in saving the planet. They're interested in exercising their power. And the best way that they can do that is to have some sort of a dramatic impact on people's lives. And it seems like it's easier for them to have a negative impact than a positive impact, so it seems like, now I don't know whether that's really true or not, but it seems like an awful lot of times these regulations that are being imposed of late seem to have been doing more harm than good. Although I do have to say, though, that if I were required to upgrade this wood stove to a more efficient model, one that would put less carbon in the air, and one that would be more efficient, get more BTUs out of every milligram or gram or kilogram or ton of wood, I might do it. Although I might alternatively opt for a gas furnace instead. But the neat thing about this wood stove is that it'll heat the house when everything else fails. The gas utility could go down, the electric utility could go down, my generator could even fail. And because hot air rises, I might be in the dark, and I might start getting hungry after I ran out of food. But it'd be a while before I run out of wood. I got more in the woodshed too. Meanwhile, though, we had that storm Atlas last October, and we didn't have electricity, didn't have internet, didn't have telephone. We were completely cut off. And yet I talked to someone in the Caribbean on this ham radio, even though I could scarcely even walk out of the house. The snow was 4 feet deep. Go figure. Ham radio, like wood, will work when everything else fails. But I think now I've actually... Go to my vlog. Go to my Nerd Cave vlog and join in. Join in the fun and the discussion there. Stan Gibilisco. Ham radio operator W1GV, by the way. Whiskey 1, good vibrations. Signing off for now. So long.